Honorable members, I wish to confirm that the nominee before us is Peninah Bartuin, and as per the list forwarded to us by His Excellency the Governor on 25th October 2022, the said Peninah Bartuin is the nominee for Devolution, Public Service and Administration. Honorable members, as a tradition of this House, Peninah, you will have to take an oath. You'll have to take an oath before you can have any engagement. I want to direct the clerk to administer the oath.
I, Peninah Bartuin, do swear that the information I'll give to this committee is the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Honorable members, I wish to confirm that Peninah Bartuin has taken an oath, and the said oath is before me. And I want to tell the members that they are free now to engage the nominee at this point. Honorable members, as I have said, the nominee before us today is Peninah Bartuin. She is the nominee for the position of CEC Devolution, Public Service and Administration. Peninah, you will have 60 minutes engagement with the members of this committee, and you will help us to manage time, because our intention is to spend 60 minutes. But if you take time, it means we'll also have to spend more time with you. Peninah, before you is the Committee of Appointment for Baringo County Assembly. It's made up of 11 members. Its mandate is drawn from the Constitution of Kenya, Section 7 of the Public Appointments, County Assemblies Approvals Act number 5 of 2017, Standing Order 190 of Baringo County Assembly, and its mandate is to test suitability of any person nominated by the Governor. The committee is chaired by Vincent Kimboy, myself, who is the Speaker, and I'll give the members here to do a self-introduction. Let me start with the person on my immediate left.
Yes, my name is Honorable Kibruto Kimosop, the Deputy Speaker, Baringo County Assembly, a member of this committee, and also the MCA Mochongoi Ward.
To my right,
my name is Lawe Kipchumba Talam, MCA Lembusquen, the Majority Leader of Baringo County Assembly, and also a member to this committee. Welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Honorable Lokorio Josephat, MCA Barwesa Ward, Deputy Majority Leader.
I'm Venaline Jerop, nominated MCA Baringo County and a member of this committee.
Good afternoon, Peninah. Paul Olgisoi, Mugutani Ward, a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Peninah Bartuin. My name is Ernest Kibet, MCA Kabarnet, Majority Whip, member to this committee.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. My name is Ayub Kibet, member of County Assembly representing Ewalel Chap Chap and a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Jane Jerop, nominated MCA, Baringo County.
And Mailuk Shentrak, MCA Tangulbe Korosi Ward, member of this committee.
Ujambo Peninah.
Sijambo.
Naitwa Maxialo, MC wa Mogoti Ward. Karibu.
Honorable Siala, out of curiosity, you have decided to engage Peninah in Kiswahili. Is there any particular reason or? Sawa sawa. Au sawa sawa Kiswahili word. Yes. Peninah, I know you're Peninah Chepkorir Bartuin. Which name are you comfortable with us calling you?
Peninah.
Peninah. Peninah, when we advertised for this position, when we issued a notice in the newspapers, we requested you to come with copies, original documents. Do you have them with you?
Yes, I do.
Kindly hand it over to Mr. Topole, our Sergeant at Arms. Yes. With us here is also our clerk. I'll allow her to introduce herself and the members of staff.
My name is Winnie Chemase, the clerk, Baringo County Assembly. We have the members of staff with us. We have Zipporah Koroti, answered editor. We have Emma Kemei, head of ICT. We have Henry Tekeiwa, head of research. We have Bernardine Kapkoyo, Sergeant at Arms. We have Tobole Lokorio, Sergeant at Arms. We have Tuiko Kiprotich, head of communication. We have the cameraman, the gentleman with us, Karanja. Then finally we have Betty Toroitich, head of legal. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
With us here is also Mr. Douglas Kiblimo, who is the liaison officer for the County Assembly and the Executive. We also have members of the public and members of the media of the Fourth Estate. Peninah, do you have a valid KRA tax compliance?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a valid higher education loans board clearance?
Yes.
Do you have a valid Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission clearance?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a valid certificate of good conduct?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a valid clearance from a reputable credit reference bureau?
Yes.
Thank you. We shall have a look at them, and in case of any clarification, we shall call upon you. Have you been charged and convicted in a court of law?
No.
Are you a dual citizen?
No, I'm only a Kenyan citizen.
Members of this committee will ask you questions, and you're expected to answer questions through the chair. And these are seasoned members. They know that they also have to ask questions through the chair. We expect you to be precise and to the point. We also expect you to be honest in answering all questions. We also call upon members to declare a conflict of interest as per Section 12 of the Public Officers Ethics Act 2012. When we placed the notice in the newspapers, we requested members of the public to bring forth memorandums or objections. We wish to confirm that we did not receive any memoranda or affidavits objecting to your nomination.
Thank you.
And we shall proceed on that basis. Peninah, when you came to the assembly, you filled a questionnaire. We have gone through the questionnaire, and there are some few things we'd like clarification from you. There's question number 23 that requires you to list sources of income. You were not specific. You mentioned about the salary, dividends, and farming proceeds, and also business. Can you let us know the exact amounts from the said source of income?
Thank you, Chair and the honorable members. It is true that I highlighted that some of my income generating activities and sources of income include my salary. I work with the Teacher Service Commission, which I draw salary monthly of approximate amount of gross of 53,000 and per month. Also, a farmer. I practice livestock production. I have a farm here in Maui and another one in Rongai in Nakuru County with an intention of income generation. Also, I'm a member of
Sorry, you haven't spoken about the approximate income from the farms.
Oh, from the farming, I usually dispose the livestock annually with an approximation of 300,000 annually. I talked about dividends in SACCO. I have shares of approximately 1 million in Mwalimu National SACCO. Those are some of my income generating activities.
You talked about the business hardware.
Yeah, sorry, Chair, for that. Just keep my attention. I have an hardware in Marigat. It deals with buying and selling of construction materials.
Approximate income per month or annually?
Annually, we do an income of approximately around 2.5 per year.
Thank you.
Yes.
On question 25, we asked about your statement of net worth. However, you were not specific on the same. Kindly tell us what's your net worth and the distribution of the same.
Thank you, Chair and the honorable members. In the statement, I stated that I'm worth 30 million, and the distribution of that worth is in form of assets and also the shares I've already mentioned earlier. I live and reside in a land in Nakuru of approximately 1.5 hectares. A valuation plus the residential home, the valuation goes to up to about 18 million. On top of that, the livestock production business, I said, sits on the family-owned land in Rongai, and the land is approximated to be 5 hectares plus the livestock, all totaling to around 4 million. The hardware.
Peninah,
Yes.
I'd love to disrupt you for a reason that you seem to be referring to some notes somewhere. And I would wish if you have some notes, kindly be, let's just be having a conversation. This, it's our standing orders does not allow us to copy from somewhere else. You have to, you can only refer at it at a particular point, but you cannot be looking at it and you talk to me. Look at it and you talk to me.
Thank you, Chair, for that clarification. Yes. So I continue.
Yes.
The hardware business is valued at 4 million.
Yes.
I've talked about the livestock, also is valued at 4 million. Yes. I think I've already mentioned about the shares that I own in the Mwalimu Sacco, around 1 million. I also have a small car, which I use on daily activities. It's approximated to be 500,000. And finally, recently I bought a lorry to facilitate my hardware. The lorry is worth 2.5 million. So Chair, if you do that, estimate goes to 30 million.
Clerk. Yes, it's correct. Thank you for that. Let's now kindly tell us briefly about yourself. You have 3 minutes. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you, Chair, and the honorable members. Before you is Peninah Bartuin, nominee for the county executive member for devolution, public service and administration. I am a daughter of Baringo. I was born in a village called Nyimbe. Nyimbe is in Mochongo ward, Baringo South sub-county, within this county of Baringo. My early life was spent in that village of Nyimbe, and I began my education there. But the early life of education began in Nyimbe because later on I transferred to Kabel, which was a new settlement scheme. So my family saw it fit because I was the only one who was taken to Kabel because the rest of my siblings remained in Nyimbe. So I continued with my education for primary level after standard 8 and did my KCP there. I want to say that proudly I was the pioneer of that school. I was among the first group that did the KCP in that school because it was still a very new settlement scheme. By the grace of God, I did very well. Did well in that I was the best student in the division that time, shocking so many, being a new school in a very bushy area. I got an admission in Kituro High School and was admitted, did very well also in Kituro High School. I was a leader there since Form 1. I was a leader from classroom level, and by the time I was in Form 3, then the school had noted my leadership skills, and I was given a position to become the school head girl, Form 3 and 4. And I cleared my secondary school education in the year 2004. Did very well again, I should mention that, because I was the best student again in Kituro High School, having scored a B+. And that secured me an opportunity to join university education. I joined Egerton University, having enrolled in the bachelor's degree of education, arts option. 4 years later, I graduated with a bachelor's degree. A few months later, because I got employed immediately after my graduation, and that was by the grace of God. I secured a job in Teacher Service Commission. But that again, it was not a permanent job. I got a job through a government initiative that was called Economic Stimulus Program. It was more of almost voluntary because there was no much pay. So I did that. I taught for 1 year under Economic Stimulus Program. It was a contract. After which, another opportunity came, applied, and I was seconded and confirmed on permanent and pensionable. So I've been teaching for the last 12 years, and that gives me a good experience in public sector. Besides, later in my career, I saw it fit to further my studies to improve our...
Peninah, kind of wind up.
Yes.
You have 30 seconds to wind up.
Thank you so much. So I did masters in education, in organizational development in Kabarnet University, a course that I have done it, but I'm yet to graduate. Besides, I'm a family person. I am married, and I have 5 children, one of whom is doing his KCP in the next 2 weeks. I want to use this podium to wish him and other candidates of this county very best in their examinations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peninah, for that brief introduction of yourself. At this point, allow me to give to Honorable Kimosop and Honorable Chen to ask their questions. You have a notebook, you will note down the questions, then you'll answer after they have asked the questions.
Yes, Peninah, you must have taken time to reflect on the new position as a CEC in charge of devolution and public service, devolution stroke administration and public service. Basically, you must have taken time after you were nominated, and you obviously must now know whether you are suitable or not, and maybe according to you, what makes you think you are suitable for that position, or generally, what do we expect from you, going by the experiences that you have had in that particular position. And then, Chair, so that I don't repeat my questions, maybe your understanding of what an intra-county is and what an inter-county is, and how do we expect your work in relation to our inter-county interests of Baringo County. Thank you, Chairman. And maybe congratulations for your, is it the daughter of the son who is in class 8?
My son.
Yeah, so maybe congratulations for your son who is doing class 8. Thank you.
Honorable Kimosop, you didn't say she comes from your ward or you are disowning her.
Let me confirm, Chairman, that she indeed comes from my ward, and the village she has mentioned is a village very dear to me also. But it doesn't mean I have a conflict of interest. My judgment in this as an elected leader will be completely impartial. But I agree, she comes from my ward and I confirm. Thank you.
Let's, Jane, kindly proceed and answer the question.
Thank you, Chair. I have 3 questions. One, I hope you have elaborated this one. about your education and professional qualification. Second one, is there relevance of your educational qualification to this department you have been nominated to? And on public service, give 5 laws on public service administration in Kenya. 4, challenges facing public service in this county of Baringo. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome, Jane. Mheshimiwa Jane. Peninah, you can answer the questions.
Thank you, Chair. I want to start with a question from Honorable Kimasop. I want to confirm also that is my area MCA. He's asking why I feel I'm suitable for this appointment. It is true I've reflected so much, and I feel and believe that I'm fit for this appointment and in this docket of devolution, public service and administration. One is because of my experience in the public sector. As I mentioned earlier that I've been working in public sector for a span of over 12 years. And the nature of my job was interaction with the community. And if I relate to devolution, devolution is about dealing with the common citizens up to the lower cadres of governance. So my experience gives me an upper hand in engaging with the citizens. I've engaged with citizens of all cadres of economic life, teaching their children. So I've been at the heart of community service. So this one is not much far from that because of the issue of administration, devolution, and also public service. So I will just be continuing with my public service. 2 is about my professional training. As I mentioned earlier, I've trained in the field of education and in organizational development. So this training gives me another opportunity because of the skills I possess and the knowledge, the expertise. Over the years that I've been in public sector, I have developed leadership skills. I've developed people's skills, coordination skills, management skills, and also administration skills. So I believe, given an opportunity to serve in this great county, will give me a platform to demonstrate these attributes and transform public sector and make Baringo County public service of quality, efficient, and effective public service delivery. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Peninah, for the questions, for answering the questions. However, I've noted that you did not answer the question on the laws on...
Okay. Sorry, Chair. Madam Honorable Member Jane gave me a question on laws on public administration. There are some laws that have been enacted in the laws of Kenya and also the Constitution. One of them is the County Government Act. I'll be guided by the County Government Act. There is also an Act of Public Service Act, which gives, it's enshrined in the values and principles of public service. There is also Employment Act, bearing in mind that my docket will be about dealing with human resource and other issues to do with appointments. So I will also anchor my service on that act. There is also an act of, okay, even the Constitution itself, which is the supreme law.
Thank you, Peninah. That's enough.
Yeah.
let me get the next set of questions from Ayub, Mheshimiwa Ayub, Mheshimiwa Sialo. I know that you are mwalimu wa Kiswahili.
Yeah.
Kwa hivyo sitakosa nikikuongelesha lugha ya Kiswahili. Nitapatia
kweli.
jukumu la kuuliza swali Mheshimiwa Ayubu. Mheshimiwa Sialo. Na Mheshimiwa Lokorio kwa Kiswahili itaitwa nini? Lokorio. Lokorio. Sawa. Utangoja maswali kutoka hao waheshimiwa na utajibu maswali baadaye.
Asante mwenyekiti. Okay, I'll ask you one question. Given a chance as the CEC for Devolution, Administration and Public Service, what strategies will you put in place to motivate the staff in the county government? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Peninah, God willing, you will be the CEC in charge of devolution administration, and this docket basically deals with majorly employment of staff. What do you think when a staff misbehave? What are the procedures of disciplining such a staff? And if you want to employ a new staff, what are the procedures that you will follow to employ staff to Baringo County government? And finally, I know you understand the Chapter 6 of our Constitution. What does it entail? Briefly, if you can describe Chapter 6 in your own understanding. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Peninah, I want to ask 3 questions. But Chair, let me share the fact that I want to associate myself with Peninah because of CEC Donek. CEC Donek is Peninah is a graduate of Egerton University, so that is the association. And I'm seeing one of the fellas in this gallery that comes from my place, so I suspect again they are associated. So, but I have no interest at all. Peninah, tell us about any documents that you would want to rely on while you will be making important decisions regarding the employees in the ministry that you, if successful, will be having on board. And the number 2, how do you intend to engage Public Service Board, the Baringo Public Service Board? And last one, Peninah, kindly share with us how you would apply Article 10 and 233 of the Constitution of Kenya to the docket that you will be responsible for if nominated. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Mheshimiwa Lokorio, nimepikwa butwa na jibu lako kwa vile ulisema kuna mwananchi mmoja kutoka sehemu la Barweza na au kuweza kusema jina lake, ama wale wananchi wanatoka kule Barweza hawana majina na uhusiano wake na Peninah.
I'm just suspecting, so I could not proceed beyond there.
So you mean the citizens of your county of your ward don't have names?
Yes, they have names, Chair, but see, I'm not sure if they are related in any way.
Thank you. Thank you, Mheshimiwa Lokorio. Peninah, unaweza jibu hayo maswali.
Thank you, Chair. Let me go straight away to the questions. First, for starting with the Honorable Hayub question on what strategies do I intend to employ in order to motivate the staff of this county. It is true that there is nothing as good as working with a motivated staff. So I will work, my job will be a team leader role in collaboration with other members within my department and develop strategies, for example, developing good working environment for the staff, because they spend most of their time from 8 to 5. So there should be a good and conducive working environment for them. Secondly is the issue of training and career progression. That is what we call in human resource HRD, human resource development, by building capacities to enhance their technical skills and expertise so that they can be productive in the areas of their jurisdiction. So the issue of training is at the heart of my intention to do in the county. Of course, in liaison with the Treasury because of the availability of the resources, the funds. Also, I will check when I go into that office, I will see whether there is issue to do with policies on reward system, because that is another issue that has been proved to motivate staff. Another question from Ayub was, what procedure? Okay, it was from Lobasialo. The staff misbehavior procedure. If our staff misbehaves, there are some procedures laid down from HR point of view. One, the first step is oral warning. You warn the staff orally concerning the gross behavior. Secondly, if that behavior does not cease, you proceed, give a written warning, which at maybe the first letter, and then if it persists, you accompany with a show cause reason why that behavior is persisting, after which if the behavior does not cease, you reprimand by suspension or interdiction, of which through the disciplinary Department of Public Service Board, that employee might need his case to be heard. So we give him or her a fair hearing, after which there will be deliberations after that fair hearing. And if that employee is found guilty, he or she is terminated. On the issue of employment procedures, we don't employ just like that. There should be a need. There should be a gap within a specific department. So after identifying the need, there is a procedure to determine the qualifications of a person who is suitable for that or to bridge that gap. So you determine the qualifications and the requirements. And those are the ones that are going to the next stage of advertisement. You advertise the position, people will apply. After application, you shortlist. There are 2 levels of shortlisting. There's long list, and then you look again on the requirements. You shortlist a few, of which they will come for an interview. After an interview, you hire, you deploy, and then you train that employee. Continuous training after induction, and is ready to serve. Chapter 6 of the Constitution talks about leadership and integrity. Professionalism, openness in public service, accountability. So that is the chapter that guides public officers in their code of conduct in public service. Honorable Okorio asked me some of the documents that will guide me in decision making. In fact, that's, I got it right. One of them is public finance management document. There is the Constitution of Kenya, because we cannot do anything outside Constitution, and maybe County Government Act might guide us. Finally, the question on how do I engage Public Service Board. This is I would say, autonomous body, but at the same time, it will be very instrumental to my docket because it deals with human resource again, a very important docket, important responsibility of my office. So we will be liaising in issues of recruitment, issues of disciplines of the employees, and also issue of capacity building. Finally, Honorable Okorio asked me about how do I apply Article 10 of the Constitution and 232. I understand Article 10 of the Constitution talks about the national values and principles of governance, and Article 232 of the Constitution also highlights the principles of public service, principles and values of public service. So application of these, for example, Article 10 talks about national unity. I will ensure that our county embraces and accommodates each and every community, each and every person, regardless of religion, regardless of economic background, so that will boost the national unity. There is an issue of inclusivity again. We know that we are diverse. So, for example, in the issue of procurement and employment, for example, in procurement, the Constitution provides that we should embrace inclusivity. For example, 5% of procurement should go to people living with disabilities, and 30% also should go to of employment should go to women and youth. So that is an aspect of inclusivity, something I will uphold in my roles and responsibilities in my office. And maybe finally, the rule of law as a principle. Every decision that is going to be made in my department is going to be guided by the rule of law and the Constitution of Kenya. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome, Peninah. Perhaps, Peninah, it may interest you that the standing orders of this county assembly, specifically Standing Order 77, allows us to use 3 languages. You can use English, Kiswahili, or Kenya Sign Language, but on condition that if you start speaking in English or Kiswahili or in sign language, you finish the sentence or you finish the conversation in that language. So that if you decide to speak in Kiswahili, then you have to start with Kiswahili and end with Kiswahili on that particular issue. And at this time, allow me to request Honorable Kibet to ask a question. And I don't know, Honorable Kibet in Kiswahili would be tuulize yule mheshimiwa mjana aulize swali lake.
Sijaelewa hapo, Chairman. Order la nidhamu.
Mheshimiwa Kibet, unaweza tuambia jina lako kwa Kiswahili litakuwa lipi?
Thank you, Chairman. I think, I also inquired why the name Kibet, and I was told I was born in daytime. So daytime in Kiswahili should be mchana. So that's how I was trying to come up with the name. Thank you. Good afternoon, Peninah.
Good afternoon, Honorable Kibet.
Thank you so much, Karibu. Chairman, when Lokorio was talking about a gentleman, and when I looked around, The gentleman that Lokori was talking about is actually the husband to Peninah, and is one Lokapel, a very senior economist in this world, who happened to have worked for Baringo for a very long time. And we are so grateful. We karibu sana wana Lokapel. I think this is a serious shoulder leaning, situation. So I think Peninah is in safe hands, having known Lokapel as a friend, and I'm proud. So karibu.
Honorable Kibet, are you declaring a conflict of interest?
No, surely. Surely it is so human to recognize. She said she's married, and when I looked around and I saw Lokapel, I had to mention that. It's so human to me to say that, and nothing of any interest. It's just that he's a good man, and I'm happy that having worked for Baringo, and now the wife is being nominated to work for Baringo. It shows that family. They have done something for Baringo. Chairman, Peninah, I have a few questions for you. We want to know strategies you will put in place to ensure that the county planning framework is translated into departmental objectives and ultimately service delivery. My other question is, we have county government and we have national government. Could you name your counterpart in the national government? And maybe just tell us what is your opinion on the issue of scrapping of term limits for presidents, and maybe setting up a age limit.
Thank you, Honorable Kibet, for the questions. Peninah, you may answer the questions.
Thank you, Chair and Honorable Kibet, for the questions. The first question was about the strategies I would put in place to ensure that the county plans are done in our departments. So basically, given an opportunity, I will ensure, first of all, that every member of my department is brought on board for, in all levels, decision making, deliberations, discussions, so that everyone owns the program. So I'll be not working as a lone ranger. I'll be playing, as I mentioned, I'll be a team leader, providing directions at policy level and ensuring implementations of those policies. 2 is the aspect of communication. I aspire to strengthen the communication strategy unit of the department so that the communication is cascaded to all levels of my administration, bearing in mind that devolution is a pivotal department that cuts across all the other departments of the county. So I endeavor to strengthen the communication strategy unit. First of all, I'll check to see whether there is an existing policy on that. If there are any gaps, I address. If there are challenges, and if not, we will strengthen it. Also, internally, I'll strengthen internal communication so that the information is flowing in every member of the department. There is also an issue of regular stakeholder, let me call it regular sectorial meetings, so that we address something timely. And also this meeting will help us to know the status of implementations of of policies, programs, and projects. Maybe lastly, I'm asked about my counterpart in the national government. There is no specific ministry called Devolution, but there's a Ministry of Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action, headed by Honorable Aisha Jumwa. But in the State Department of Devolution was given to a lady called Teresia Mbaika Malokwe. Finally, and Rabbi Kibet is asking what is my feeling about scrubbing of term limits for the president. I've ever thought about that. I've ever thought about president, and not only president, I've also thought about governor, because most of the governors in this, most of these leaders in this country are young. We have very vibrant youth whom engage in leadership position as young as 30 years. Not only that, some of the leaders are gifted. So I'm imagining a scenario of having a very able and gifted leader who is young, but you are killing his ambition by saying 10 years is enough. So I was a proposal that we check the age limit, just like the public service. Maybe at the age of 60, production level goes down. So that's the retirement age of a leader. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peninah. Perhaps you should also tell Kibet that there's a discussion around whether we should set a time limit for MCS, whether he also supports the same idea. But you'll not answer that one. When you'll be taking lunch with Mheshimiwa Kibet, you can have discussion on that. Honorable members, do we have any other question? We seem not to have any question. It's now your opportunity, Peninah, to make your closing remarks. And I'm giving you 5 minutes to make your closing remarks.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I want to thank God for this opportunity. I know many wanted. I want to thank God for granting me this golden opportunity, and praying to the same God that is going to take me through the process and give me an opportunity to serve this country. Secondly, thanking the Honorable His Excellency the Governor for nominating me, promising to do the best of my abilities to deliver and offer quality services to this county. I am optimistic that we will improve the quality of life of these county citizens through quality service delivery, which is going to be delivered through Devolution office that's under me. Lastly, I want to thank also you, the honorable members, through the chair, for a very interactive session, and looking forward for further engagement in serving the great people of Baringo. Therefore, I'm looking forward to a very vibrant Baringo where other counties will come and benchmark on how we do business here, because it's going to be a very great county. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Peninah. Thank you for helping us to manage time. You have saved us 5 minutes, and we wish you all the best. This committee shall retreat, and we shall make a report on your suitability. If you will be successful, you'll have an opportunity to work with the members here. And the same way, you are punctual in attending this meeting and also in managing time, because you are the only candidate so far who has been able to work within the 1 hour in terms of being precise, brief and precise. We also expect that when you shall be engaging with our committees, you will also be brief and precise and be available when we need you. so that we are not in a situation where the committee shall be working at the whims of your time, of your schedule.
Noted, Chair.
And on that note, we wish you all the best. If you are successful, we'll be happy to work with you. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Thank
Your
you.
documents will be given to you by our clerk, our Sergeant at Arms, Madam Benedine. To the members of the public, we have come to the end of the day. We have had 3 nominees for the day. We thank you for coming to this and following these proceedings. Kindly join us again on Friday morning for the final session. Enjoy the rest of the day. Peninah, you can leave.